I think this one's interesting. It says, hello, my wife and I are French, and we got married
bonjour.
in France.
Très bien.
We've since relocated to the USA,
Ah.
and now we reside here.
Voyage à les États-Unis.
We have a question. When we got married, we signed a contract stipulating that everything we purchase is owned by the individual who paid for it. There is no joint ownership, and in the event of a divorce, any jointly purchased items would be divided accordingly to the percentage each of us contribute.
This is a nightmare of a marriage situation. But
I would like
keep
to
going.
know if the contract we made in France during our wedding, which was also notarized, is legally binding here. It was completed in France.
Maybe.
And it was also registered with the town hall
Okay.
there. Thank you in advance.
Maybe. The only way to know is to read it and to determine whether or not it meets the statutory requirements for a post or pre-nuptial property agreement.
Does it work as a prenup agreement?
Exactly. That's what we have to do. So he needs to call a lawyer and schedule it.
It's kind of weird, though. It's like he's not seeking a divorce at this point.
He might want to know before he moves to Texas or something.
Yeah. I don't know. He says they're in the USA, so
Yeah.
who knows where they're living.
Well, there's one reason to ask that question. Which, by the way, though, what kind of marriage is that? Come on. Like, your wife is now your adversary. Your husband is now your adversary in a financial relationship. You're not working together on that. That's just...
No. That's not good.
Like, our life is so less stressful not doing it that way.
No.
We are a team, and, like, I'll tell you, the Summer and I handle money so easily.
Yeah,
It's like
we're
we barely even have to talk about it, and we do great.
We
and
don't really talk about it much either.
It also helps that we are investing like 40% of what we bring in.
Yeah.
Because we do the SCP, that's 25%, and then we do additional stuff on top of that.
Yeah. I mean, money has never been an issue for us. I mean, do we have problems at times? Yeah, but we don't fight about it. It's never been an issue for us. That's something that I feel like we work really well together.
Well, Dave Ramsey in Financial Peace University talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
And statistically, people don't get as far when they try and run their finances separately. They just don't.
There's a control there, I feel like. Like in those situations, it's one of the spouses. It could be the man, it could be the woman, but one of them is so obsessed with money to such a level of not healthy.
Correct.
And then they treat their partner like crud. That's what I've seen about it. And it's like,
I mean, I could see it maybe working. Maybe it's not that. But now he's asking about that. Like, you're going to prepare yourself for a divorce your whole marriage?
yeah.
There's better ways, man. Here's a really good way. Just get really successful and understand if you split up, you divide it 50-50.
Yeah.
And invest. Get yourself some wealth to where it's not going to matter one way or the other. If I go from having 10 million to 5 million, okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to change my life. I mean,
Right.
I'd pay 5 million to get Summer back.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, losing Summer is the bigger deal.
Right.
Not the season, my wife. For those that are new to the show.
No, but yeah, I agree. It's just kind of weird. It's like, are you planning on getting a divorce?
Who
Is that
knows?
why you're asking this question?
He's been planning on getting a divorce for 20 years. I mean, at this point, like, how much is hers and how much is his? Here's the real question that I want to know. I want to know how much they both make.
Well, you're not all in either.
No, you're not all in. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And your marriage is not going to work unless you are all in.
Right.
And as Dave Ramsey says, and quoting the Bible, as the scripture says, all my worldly goods I do thee pledge. That's what works.
Well, when you get married, you're supposed to be one.
Yeah.
So being one is everything,
Yep.
It's important.
Yep.
So
And so, you know what he should do? He should go to Financial Peace University by Dave Ramsey.
they also should sit down and be like, you know what? This garbage contract we created, it's just garbage. Let's rip this thing up.
Nope. No.
Well, everything.
You cannot rip it up. You have to have another contract that voids that.
Okay.
Because there was a couple that did that. They did that a year in. And one of them dies, and their descendants, their heirs, then enforced that contract and took everything from the surviving spouse.
Oh, that sucks.
It's a major
Yeah.
major big deal, big case.
Well, good thing I just brought that up. You just
Yeah.
solved that
Yeah.
for everybody.
So you could figuratively rip it up by literally revoking it in writing, and you basically make a new one. And by the way, the laws of the state of Texas are very good and compatible.
If you made an estate plan
Uh-huh.
that stated everything your wishes are,
Mm-hmm.
that revoked that,
Yeah, that would
work.
well, as long as you both sign the same document.
Well, let's just
Well,
say,
or if your
you
will
both-
says all
you-
of my stuff to my husband upon my death,
yes,
and if his said all to my wife upon my death, that would get you there.
because that's how ours is stated.
Yeah.
Well, but we don't have any type of contract like that.
But then you're also risking, well, what happens when their kid, like you both kind of start going over, and their kid basically manipulates them to make a fake will or something like that comes in.
Yeah.
Like if you're not going to operate under the pre or post-nup that you've signed, invalidate it in writing, file that in the county records. Make sure you both have copies of it, because otherwise your life is very different. In doing that, you are making a law on how your property is owned that only applies to you and your spouse.
Yeah.
But you're making that law. It's like we are created in God's image. That is one of the things that we have created. You're able to make laws that affect yourself. Those are called contracts.
Right.
And that becomes the law that affects you. If you got a prenup or a postnup and you're not following it, you need to change it. Otherwise, you need to analyze your situation not on how you've been doing it, but on how that contract says it's going to be analyzed, because you don't own what you think you do. Very big caution, very big problem.
Yeah.
This is the Lawyer Dana Show.